guys, hey, so this video is going to be a little bit more for parents and for kiddos because this video is going to help you help your kiddo become a better handwriter and make sure that they're forming their letters correctly. So if your kiddo was in class, I'd be working with them in a small group or watching them write so that I could give them specific feedback or cues on how to form their letters correctly, because I'm not going to be sitting there watching your kiddo write or having them really show me how they're writing. It's going to be up to you to make sure that your kiddo is forming their letters correctly, and if they're not, to know how to give them feedback and how to model how to write their letters correctly. So this week our focus is the letters A through E, and so I'm encouraging you to have your kiddo write those letters as much as possible. I don't want it to become anything that's cumbersome or something they don't want to do, but I want them to at least practice it. So I am going to be sending home some possible worksheets for them to practice those letters this week, but it's important that they practice them correctly, because if they practice them incorrectly, then that's how they're going to be writing those letters. So again, I said it in my other video, the key to writing letters correctly is to start top from bottom, or we'll start at the top, go to the bottom, and then left to right. And so for the A, the way that I tell them to write an A is that we start at the top, we do a diagonal down, we frog jump back up to the top, we do a diagonal down, frog jump to the middle, and a line across. Okay, and notice how I have it anchored at the top, anchored at the bottom. For a little A, I do a magic C, because C's turn into lots of letters. So see, I have my magic C, then I helicopter up, and then I go back down and I anchor it down on the bottom. For a B, I start at the top, I do a straight line down, I frog jump to the top, I give it a little bump on the top and a big bump on the bottom. And with a B, it's important that I don't lift up my pencil. I lift up my pencil once for my frog jump, and then I leave it on to do my little bump, my big bump. For a little B, I start at the top, I do a straight line down, I helicopter back up to the middle, and then I give it a little bump. For my C, I just do a magic C that anchors at the top, and I do a magic C that anchors at the bottom. For my D, I do a straight line down, I frog jump to the top, and I give it a great big belly. For my little d, I do a magic C, I helicopter all the way up to the sky, and then I follow my line right back down to the bottom. For my capital E, it's another frog jump letter. I do a straight line down, I frog jump to the top, I do a line in the top, frog jump to the middle, do a line in the middle, frog jump to the bottom, and I do a line on the bottom. For my E, it's a rule breaker. So I find my middle, I go over, up, and around with a magic C. Okay? Now, it's okay if your kiddo isn't quite successful the first time they do it. If they're not being successful using the lines, then give them a big piece of paper, or maybe even send them outside with some chalk and have them draw. I also do a lot of sky writing, so they're practicing in the sky first. So for the letter A, I have them start at the top, and then I turn it into like a full body activity like this. I'm going to stand up so I can show you. So I'll have them start at the top and find their top, because their head's their top, and then when they do a diagonal down, they go all the way down to the ground. And then the middle's their belly button. So watch how I do my A. I start at the top, I do a diagonal down, I frog jump back up to the top, I do another diagonal down, then I find my middle about my belly button, and I do a line across. Okay? So I usually start with, full body activities, and then I'll go to like a big piece of paper, and then I'll get it down to the small pieces of paper. I wouldn't be asking your kindergarten if they were at school to, write their letters perfectly like I showed the first time around, but that's just the goal for, after we've been working on them for a while, I'm going to use those cues and the corrective language so that they will eventually write their letters correctly on the 3 lines, on the top line, the bottom line, and the middle dotted line. If you have questions, just let me know.